The gameplay you're about to see follows title update 4 of EAFC 24, and in this video I'll be giving you guys the sliders and the settings in order to make your game play like this as well, and for it to be football, not whatever that default gameplay is. Okay, so today's video is going to be slightly different from the previous slider videos that I have done, whereas in the beginning we go through the menus and show you guys the settings and the sliders and everything like that, and then at the end show you the gameplay. Throughout this video I'll be showing you guys the gameplay with more context in order for you guys to get a better idea of how the games actually look and how the games actually play out. But I'll be overlaying the sliders and the settings over it. I always emphasize and settings because they are also very important. If you go into enjoy the video, please do drop a like on it and subscribe as well. I'd greatly appreciate that. We'll be here with these kinds of videos after every title update, so you do not want to miss those. I have the stuff over here, so I'll be looking down quite a bit, so you guys have to kind of forgive me for that. But we're going to start off with the settings. Like I said, the settings are very important as well, and some of you guys don't apply them, and I normally get comments where like, yo, that's my game not playing like yours or something like that. I'm like, what are your settings? And they're not like what I suggested, and I'm like, well, that's why, right? So if you guys just don't want to take my word for it, you can check out the first slider video I did. In there I explained them in detail. If I did that for each setting in this video would probably be like 45 minutes long. Okay, so I'm not gonna do that. But here are the settings that I use. We have auto shots off, assisted headers off, and shot assistance is on precision and not fully manual, because I've had people ask me why not fully manual. It's because I find fully manual shooting way too easy. Because if you didn't know, if you have fully manual shooting or fully manual passing, the pass error slider and the shot error slider does not apply, which means you can just aim the ball into the bottom corner. If you are good enough at it, then it's always going to go in. Whereas with precision shooting, there's a bit more randomness going on. It's not fully manual, it's not fully assisted. You know, sometimes you'll aim it to the corner, but it still won't go there because of the shot error. So I suggest precision shooting, and I have timed finishing on. It's a bit of personal preference, but I like it that it simulates being able to get a clean strike on a ball. You know, if you get a clean connection on a ball and you time it perfectly, then you're more likely going to score. Coming into passing, we have auto flare passes off, through passes, lobbed through passes, ground passes, and crosses are all on semi-assisted. So not fully manual and not fully assisted. We then have lobbed passing on manual. Again, I explain it in the other video. Pass receive lock is on light, personal preference there. And precision pass sensitivity on high. On default, it's on normal. But with the high setting, you are able to really play those passes through the tightest of areas. You, of course, have to be very accurate with it. But if you are accurate with it, you can really penetrate the defenses or even penetrate opponent's press on you as well. So I have it on high. We then have auto clearances on, because sometimes even if you press the clearance button in like a defensive situation, the game just doesn't register it. So I'd say it's a safer bet for you to have it on. Clearing assistance, however, is directional. So when it does register your clearance, the ball will go in the direction in which you clear the ball and not just go in any random place. The jockeying is on manual. I had it on assisted before, but now I've turned it to manual. This one is really for those people that want more of a challenge. Maybe you've used the previous sliders before and you're wondering how you can make the game a bit more difficult. I'd highly suggest going to manual jockeying, especially you'll see later that we have a player-based difficulty on, so it makes marking those tricky wingers that much more difficult, and you really have to be careful with the tackles that you put in. I then prefer tactical defending. We have pass block assistance on. That's very important because if you have it off, basically your players don't make interceptions. If you have it off, then they're just going to keep watching the ball in a position where they can lunge and intercept it. They're just going to watch it pass by, so I suggest you have it on. And all the switching settings are optional, so it's all about how you guys want to play the game and what you enjoy doing. I have contextual agile dribbling off and the orbit dribbling off. Some people have contextual agile dribbling on. I don't really like it because it makes it much more easier to beat defenders and get past them. Again, if you are struggling, that's something you can turn on in order to make the game a bit more enjoyable. But in terms of realism, in terms of a challenge, in terms of really struggling when you come up against a very good defender, I'd suggest you have it off. Orbit dribbling is just a stupid addition to this new game, and I see no point of it, so I have it off as well. But I have save assistance to assisted. This is the only setting we have to assisted, because if you have your goalkeeper rushing out and you manually call them out, if you don't manually make a save with them, they will not make a save. And I don't know about you guys, but I don't know how to make a save with a goalkeeper, right? I've never played be a goalkeeper before. So yeah, I have it unassisted. Maybe it's something that if you know how to do and you've mastered, you can have it on manual or even semi, but I have it unassisted. The other important game settings to note is I play with slow game speed with player-based difficulty on and on 6-minute halves. I think these sliders can work up to 8-minute halves. I think after 8-minute halves, then you may get a few too many goals. I don't know, that's just for me. Maybe you guys are a bit different. But I'd say between 5 minutes to 8 minutes is the best range in order to play. So now let's get into the sliders, and I'll say this from the bat. I'm really liking Title Update 4 and how it's looking. They fixed up a lot of bugs in career mode as well, but specifically on the gameplay, for the first time in my opinion, Legendary difficulty is playable. It's not the best in terms of realism. I still believe World Class is the best in terms of realism, but Legendary is now more challenging in a way that's still playable. Before, they just didn't know how to make it challenging, so they made the AI do these weird animations and stuff that just didn't make sense, and your players were less responsive, whereas now you still have control. It is challenging though, and you'll see even in this video that there are parts where we play in Legendary, and for the first time I genuinely will play in Legendary up until they probably mess it up again in the next update. Please don't mess it up, right? Regarding the AI sliders, none of them changed from version 3, so I'll just quickly go through them here. You guys can pause the video if you want to pause it. They stay the same from version 3 because I've noticed that the AI doesn't play any different, and not many changes have been made to how they defend, to how they attack, so on and so forth. So they stay the same, but the user sliders are going to be slightly different. Again, this is going to be more geared to those that want to make it more challenging from the previous version of sliders. Not too many things are that different. So the sprint speed stays the same at 1, acceleration stays on 50. Don't touch the acceleration. Please don't touch the acceleration, or else the game is going to break. You're not going to be able to defend. The AI won't be able to defend you when you have the ball. Leave the acceleration on 50, please. Okay, now shot error remains on 65 from the previous version, and pass error goes from 75 to 80. The AI's stays on 75, but I've increased this one up to 80. I felt like the 75 was a bit too easy since the new update. You were able to just ping the ball about way too easily. With 80, you can still do that, but it is a bit more difficult. Again, I'll always caveat this: if you're finding it too difficult, lower the pass error. You know, instead of lowering the difficulty, or if you're finding it too easy, increasing the difficulty, use the pass error and shot error sliders specifically. Those are a very good way in order to make the game more difficult or more easy, in my opinion. The shot speed stays on 45 and the pass speed stays on 33. The injury frequency has been increased from 80 to 85. This has been increased on both user and AI, and the injury severity also increased from 30 to 35, of course, both for the user and the AI. This is mainly for career mode. I'm a career mode guy, right? And I had a Barcelona full season in which I only got like 3 injuries. I had 1 3-month injury and 2 like 5-day injuries, and I was like, okay, this is not enough. And for the first time in a very long time, I found that there aren't enough injuries, so I've gone up to 85 and 35. But it's one that I could still play around with. If all of a sudden now everybody's getting an ACL, of course I'm going to change it back. But again, this one takes longer to really experiment with, because of course you have to play career mode, you know, extensively in order to know for sure if these are the right sliders in terms of injuries. But I have it there for now, but this one can change at any time. Goalkeeping ability stays on 65, marking stays on 75. Run frequency, I've always had it on 10 and it stays on 10. To those people that are struggling to score goals with these sliders, increase the run frequency, because that means more of your attackers will take more runs more often as well, so you have more options going forward. I have it on 10 because sometimes I want to be able to manually initiate a run. I want to tell my player to take a run. I want to be more in control like that. I want to tell them what kind of run to take, when to take it, you know. I don't just want my striker to be running away from me when I'm like 30 yards away. I'm like, mate, come to the ball. You know what I'm saying? So I have it on 10, but again, depending on which side of the spectrum you fall on, you can change that as well. The line height is on 50, the line length is on 30, the line width is on 47, and the fullback positioning is on 50. All of those stay the same from the previous sliders, and the first touch control era stays on 90. So these sliders have not been altered all that much. It's because the gameplay hasn't been altered all that much. This update wasn't that big in terms of gameplay. You know, the main features that were updated were problems in Ultimate Team, a few bugs in career mode, and you even see it in the pitch notes. Not many change in terms of gameplay, so thus the sliders not being too different. I just wanted to highlight how you guys can adjust the sliders to your needs, because at the end of the day, you need to enjoy the game in order to play it, unless if you're like me that, you know, don't really enjoy the game but still play it because, you know, you can't get thrown into the challenge and all that stuff. You know, there are people like me out there, at least I hope, not crazy. But my main point being, this is not going to be easy, right? It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be for everybody. And you know, I'm a career mode guy, right? I'm a career mode guy. It's the only mode in which I play. And I'm thinking of incorporating this very big improvement in the legendary difficulty into career mode. You know, maybe you play world-class difficulty in home games and you play legendary difficulty in away games in order to make it a bit more difficult. You know, that's just a suggestion on my end. I think that's something I'm going to be trying. If I continue to play the legendary difficulty and I see that, you know, it's actually playable, then yeah, I'll be doing that. And hopefully ultimate is as well. If we get used to legendary, we go to ultimate, so on and so forth. So yeah, finding the best settings and the best sliders is a process. It's trial and error. It's putting in the hours, so on and so forth. You know, you can't just find a formula. You know, you have to try it, test it, make notes, and try to improve it as well. Another tip I'll give to those who play career mode is tactics become very important with these settings. Your individual players become very important. The qualities that they have become important. If you don't play to their strengths, then you may struggle at times. If you have players that aren't good at passing and you want to play a tiki-taka style of play with the whole coaching styles and everything like that, then it's not going to work. You know, if you don't have quick center backs and you want to play gegenpressing, it's not going to work. And for me, I find that as realistic. You know, we want to, of course, simulate what we see in real life as well. And player strengths and weaknesses come into that. You know, I don't want to be able to play whatever kind of football I want with whatever player I want. I want to feel the individual strengths and weaknesses of each player as well. So there you go. I haven't played Ultimate Difficulty. I've only played up to Legendary because you can't really test Ultimate Difficulty in Kickoff. You know, I test these things in Kickoff. I don't really want to ruin my career mode testing things in there with Ultimate Difficulty. So to those who do play on Ultimate Difficulty, do let me know in the comments how it works, you know. And of course, if you guys have questions, I'm always happy to answer any suggestions from your guys' side as well. And I always want the feedback in order for the next video to be better, for the next set of sliders to be better, so on and so forth. But like I said, let me know your thoughts in the comments, drop a like in the video if you have enjoyed it, and please do subscribe as well. I'd greatly, greatly appreciate that. I've been Kiki Crusher. I'll see you guys next time.